Hello everybody and welcome to the first ever episode of PodTalk. I just wanted to do the series because I've been playing this game for almost a decade. 7 years. I got a PS3 for Christmas in 2009, and I got a game called LittleBigPlanet, and I played it up until earlier on this year where I stopped playing it. But we'll get more into that later. I'm joined by two guests today. I'm joined by Madmarsrocks. I want to say hi.
Hello.
Yeah. And I'm also
Yeah.
joined by Sakura, aka Emily.
Yeah,
And
hi.
so, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, Roman? We'll start with you and then we'll go on to Emily.
Well, my history with LittleBigPlanet dates back to, I want to say, around late 2009. I had heard of the series already before then. At that point, it wasn't really a series. It was just, only the first game existed.
Right.
So, but the thing was, I did not own the PlayStation 3 at the time. Instead, I just only had a PSP because we couldn't get a PS3 at the time. But it wasn't until late 2009 when, I want to say around November, when LBP PSP came out, that I started out with that game. And I heard about how LittleBigPlanet 1 had a create mode and how the PSP version would include its own take on that, which thinking back on it now is pretty much the same as LBP1, except LBP1 is far more stable.
Right.
Because
So you actually did you start out on PSP for LittleBigPlanet?
yes, I did, but
Damn.
that didn't mean that I couldn't get an insight on what the PS3 community was like.
Right.
Like when I started, like I was already lurking in the fan sites. I was already lurking in like LittleBigLand and LittleBigWorkshop. The two fan sites that used to be really thriving back in the day that don't really exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I never really heard of the fan sites. I just played the game, and I used to dive in a lot and try to, I'm pretty sure we all did this at some point, but we just try to dive in and join as many people as you can. At least I did anyway. That's what I used to do, and just make friends that way. But it's really sobering to hear that some people actually went onto the forums and they learned more about the game that way.
yeah, that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like, for as far as create mode went on PSP, like I didn't really make too much stuff. I just kind of like mucked around and explored the tools and whatnot. But I still had fun, like creating stuff in the game, like because like when a game grants you that amount of freedom, in such a simple form, like people can go wild with it, and people were already like showing that even on LittleBigPlanet PSP. I mean, even like in early 2010 or late 2010, there was actually a community project for LittleBigPlanet Central, which I had already heard of when I started LBP1.
That was up and coming at that time.
I'm jumping ahead.
That was up and coming at that time, I believe. LBP Central.
Yeah, like LBP Central was. I think LBP Central started when the game was announced. Like I think it was probably one of the older LBP fan sites. But as I was saying, I'm not getting into LBP1 just yet. But Kindred was an LBP PSP community project. Like I didn't take part in it or anything, but I did play the first level or so. I think it was only 1 or 2 levels that they had published so far, and I think it never continued. Like it was just pretty much dead after like 2 levels. But from what I did see, though, it was really impressive for PSP standards.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what tools you're given, as long as you're given a platform to create on. You can. It doesn't matter whether you have a PSP or whether you have a PS3. You can, create good stuff, and it's just amazing, really.
Sometimes it's not always the hardware or the software. It's rather the user,
the
creator.
creative mindset. Yeah.
But I started out.
We'll move on to Emily now.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
Unlike you guys, I didn't start LLP until like 2011.
Oh,
Oh,
When I
right.
started,
Then I feel
well,
like a baller
tried
now
Little Big
because I
Planet
started
1.
in 2009.
Yeah, I didn't start until 2011 when my brother got Little Big Planet 1. And I was like, oh wow, this is a lot of fun.
yeah,
As many
Uh,
people's first reaction to LBP is.
yeah,
yeah,
and I really enjoyed just fooling around in great mode.
Mm.
yeah,
I think that's the one of the first things that people discover about the game is, this game has a whole nother side to it. It's not just a platformer, but you can create your own platformer in the game, essentially, and so many other things
Yeah.
too. And that, as a young lad, I'd say it blew my mind, and I was just like, I could basically do whatever I want. Oh, it's so
yeah,
cool. And then you'd
and
invite friends over to your house, and you'd spend like online friends or in real life friends, in my case, and you grab a controller and you
Yeah.
just make levels with each other, and then you'd spend it could have been, I think this one time me and my friend spent 4 hours making a level, just sat down next to each other making this awesome level, and we were so proud of it. I still have it saved somewhere, I think, on my LBP1 save on my PS3. It was this really old
wow.
level of these two tanks that were battling each other, and my friend was really good with logic, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing with it. So I just made all the physical stuff, and he made all the logic. Obviously, it's not that great to look back on now, but we were really proud of it at the time. It was
that's
Yeah.
so
awesome.
much fun. I don't know if
And
you
then
guys ever
like,
had any experiences like that.
yeah. I've had a few experiences with that back in LVP1, but I only had online friends to play with at the time.
Right.
Like I have a bunch of old levels on my LittleBigPlanet 2 beta save because I no longer have my LVP1 save anymore. Like my actual one, because my PS3 freaking got the yellow light of death, and I can't really recover anything from the original hard drive.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know how. So, but
Damn.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Little Big Planet just went from being a platformer to being a platform for games, as Alex Evans would come to describe at least Little Big Planet 2. When it was announced.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember where I was when the game was coming out. I pre-ordered the game, and it came out, and I had it for like 1 or 2 days, and uh, I think I was on a break at the time, but I actually had to go on a I say had to like it was a bad thing, but I went on a holiday to Sri Lanka for 2 weeks after 2 days after the game came out, so I didn't even get to play it that much. I think I got towards the end of Da Vinci's hideout in LBP2 story, and then I had to go to Sri Lanka, and so I came back, and like everyone had already beaten the game and shit, and I was like, fuck. I feel like I missed out on a bunch. But
Hey,
Yeah.
don't feel
yeah.
bad, man. I couldn't be bothered to beat the game until like July or
Oh,
August
I
that year.
never went onto the community. I made it. I think I did this in LBP1 as well. I told myself I wouldn't go on the community until I played all of the story levels. 'Cause
Hmm.
I think I did that for all
Yeah.
three games, even in
Yeah.
LBP3.
I did that a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
My,
mean,
At the
my
same time, I wanted to like, oh, what's that there that people made?
yeah, yeah,
I
because
got
it
too
always pop
curious.
up whenever you scroll past it. It'd be like 1,000 people like this level this week, or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
oh,
Like
I remember seeing that.
5,000 players are playing or something.
Do you
No,
remember there was a
no,
pin?
like
This is kind of a side topic, but there was a pin that
Actually,
you used to be able to have
10,000.
to play with 25,000 people online at
Oh
the same time.
yeah.
yeah,
Nowadays,
group
that
hug of
pin would
20,000.
that pin is impossible to get now.
Unless you like cheat for it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually got it on my account Raichu fan
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
right.
I played it in 2013, I believe.
Yeah,
Oh
the
wow.
the community was, I mean, going on to the community now.
Yeah, I
It
played it in
used to it used to be so
2013.
big. It used to be so
Yeah.
Yeah,
big.
like Dude, I remember back in week 1 of LittleBigPlanet 2, there was like 70,000 people playing.
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, I remember that. I
That was
remember that.
immense.
Those are like the golden days of everyone just because LBP2 was such a step up from LBP1. There was so much more stuff. There was, there was the hook shot. There was the, I'd say hook shot. The
There were
what's it?
grappinators.
Yeah, the grappling thing. Sorry, I just call it the hook shot because I'm a Zelda fan.
Grappling. It was a grappling hook.
Yeah,
it was called a grappling hook, and then there was a gravinators.
Gravinators as well. My god. And then
and then the creatinator.
Yeah, and then also in some of the DLCs, like in the Muppet DLC.
The wall jump.
Yeah, the wall jumping.
Wall jump was DC Comics. We're talking about Muppets, so it's Attractogel.
Attractogel, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. God, it's been a while since I played LBP. I feel rusty.
Dude, like, then there were the move tools too.
Oh, when move got announced. Oh my god.
Yeah, like the move paint.
Oh yeah, I never actually got to play it because I never got the PlayStation Move. For some reason, so many people had it, and I was like, how does everyone have the PlayStation Move except me? And I felt like I was missing out on a lot because it was the most expensive DLC pack you could buy at the time. It was like $6.49 in British pounds. I don't know how much it was in dollars.
In the US, it was $10.
Damn.
Yeah, but I remember I got the move pack because I got a second copy of LittleBigPlanet 2. It was the special edition, like for Christmas.
Oh
and
it
came with the PlayStation Move and PlayStation Eye.
I never knew that. That must have been the US thing because I didn't see that anywhere in the UK.
Yeah,
that's another unique thing. We're in 2 different regions of LBP. So yeah.
You guys got the freaking LBP1 shirt. I'm jealous.
Yeah. Was that European only?
Yeah, the North America never got it.
Oh damn.
Because they determined the price was too much. Like I believe that was what Sam Protagonist actually Sam Protagonist. That's LBP PSP. I'm talking Ace Creator was LBP PSP. Sam Protagonist was LBP1 before Spath and Tom came into the scene.
Right. On the topic of res, we may have was it the day 1 LBP shirt? Was it? Or the PSP shirt? The thing that you said was exclusive to Europe.
It was week 1. It was week 1 LBP1.
Okay. We have that, but you guys have the Slurpee shirt.
But the Slurpee shirt ended up leaking in like 2013 though.
To Europe?
Yeah, I have a UK account.
Oh yeah. I remember you game shared it to me. Yeah, because no one in Europe would get it, and it sucked because it was such a cool looking shirt. It was so bright.
A lot of UK players ended up getting it when it leaked, though.
Yeah, we don't even have Slurpees in the UK. That's the reason why. 7-Elevens don't exist.
Wow. But yeah, with rares, ever since the LBP1 shirt, I remember reading up that they promised that every week 1 shirt, after the LBP1 shirt, would be available in the US, and they followed up on that promise pretty well. Made it available for everyone, really.
It kind of took away the rarity of it.
Well, I mean, there won't be any left out that have the place for But you know what I want to say is probably the most ridiculous case of rare items being rare items and their availability.
Yeah, sure.
I know we're jumping around from game to game here, but when LittleBigPlanet 3 came out, they had the week 1 shirt available for that, and it was originally going to be available for 1 week, like any other week 1 shirt, but but there were so many store issues with DLC and whatnot. They made it available for a month.
Oh yeah, I actually remember that.
Dude, it was ridiculous. I'm like, well, I was kind of mad, but at the same time, I was like, well, they do have that promise that they got to follow up on to make the week 1 shirts since the LBP1 shirt available for everyone.
Right.
So they can't break that promise to the community like that. Exactly. I mean, sure, the older players would probably remember it like me, but yeah, I only remember because I had such an interest to the game that I looked up old articles and stuff, like old news and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Speaking about the launch of LBP3, I remember when LBP2 was coming to an end and LBP3 was announced.
yeah,
There were these levels that had like they were like fake advertising a rare LBP3 shirt that you could get.
really.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Jeez.
And it was actually very, very similar to what the day one shirt of the LBP3 shirt looked like. It was like spookily similar. I wish I could like get a picture of it, but this guy joined my pod with like a 3 on his shirt, and it
Oh,
looked
that's
up
a pre-order
much.
shirt.
No,
That was a
it was like it was made out of stickers. It was made out of
oh, what?
stickers.
It was their own version.
Yeah, it was their own version, and it looked like the
Oh.
pre-order shirt.
I remember pre-ordering LBP3 just for those shirts actually.
Yeah.
Dude, like when LittleBigPlanet
Yeah,
3
me
was
too.
announced, when LittleBigPlanet 3 was announced, like we all thought it was going to be good. We thought it was going to be a
Yeah.
good
Okay,
game.
we can't bash it too much. They introduced a lot of cool mechanics. Let's not
Yeah,
lie.
like
the
my
the
favorite
16 layer
mechanic is
thing.
my favorite feature is the animation tweakers. I love them.
Yes, yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
That was very, very
Like,
good for filmmakers.
That and this, I love how you could easily create in the 16 layers as well. Like,
Without
I
having to
mean-
do the infinite layer glitch.
yeah, because like in LittleBigPlanet 2, when
Yeah.
I created with the 3D layers, like it was a bit like there are some things you had to like constantly how do I say this, like you have to like make sure you do them when you create in 3D layers. Like you had to first change the material to hologram for sticker panel first, and then put
Right.
an anti-gravity tweaker on it before you change the material back to like whatever one you want. If you
Right.
want to do like multiple, if you want to do like a scenery in LittleBigPlanet 2 with all these different pieces together, pieces of material.
Right, right.
Like, I mean, it's simple, but at the same time, it was just, not too practical. Like, but creating an LVP3, like, I feel like a lot more, if whenever I created in the game, if anything at all, like I created a few levels with Emily.
Right.
I felt really free to just like, go all out and whatnot. It was like pretty fun.
Yeah,
Like-
it almost felt
Yeah.
overwhelming in a way. I don't know whether
Mm.
you guys had that feeling of when you completed the story mode and you had all this stuff and you had 16
Yeah.
layers. It felt almost overwhelming because everyone was only used to 3.
Mhm.
And
Well,
I felt too overwhelmed to make a level. I don't know whether that was just me being too much of a diehard fan for LBP 1 and 2, but it felt like, oh my god, I have all this stuff and I don't know what to do with it. And
yeah.
yeah.
Like I felt overwhelmed at first too, like especially like when I was trying to create in the beta of the game in
Right.
LVP3. But as time went on, like I felt like I felt more free with the game. Like I could actually create things. Like now when I go back to LVP 1 and 2, especially LVP 1, I actually feel limited.
Yeah,
But-
it's crazy to go back to LBP 1 create mode where
Yeah.
for logic you had to have like physical things on winches or wenches
Yeah,
or
like-
whatever.
Or
Uh,
pistons and whatnot.
yeah,
Like I always encased like my logic in like a round dark matter outline sort of thing, and then like I would do everything from there. Like I would use magnetic keys and whatnot.
Gosh. I don't know whether we're allowed to say this or not, but like you can look at some of the levels from LBP 1, some of the story mode levels, and you can see some of the. I mean, you can see some of the logic behind them anyway, because the
Oh,
MM Creator
yeah.
pack that they released that allowed you to turn logic invisible. They never actually had the option to turn the logic invisible in the story mode. So the final boss in LBP 1, you could just
they had, like-
just see all the logic for it.
Yeah, all those magnetic keys and
Yeah.
or tags and whatnot.
God, that must have been so complicated to do, especially with that kind of like felt like caveman logic, to be honest. And
now
I'm
you
not,
can just
I'm
do
not much
all
of a
this
logic
stuff.
person myself, and look, that's the incredible things you can do with the logic in LBP3 is I have to give a hand for them for that, because some of the stuff you can do in that game is insane with the logic.
Yeah, I think LittleBigPlanet 3 made logic simpler to do. Like all the stuff you want to do, like much easier and feasible to do. Like if you want to make a SAC person that let's just say walk into like a cave for example, then you don't really need to make like an illusion for that, whatever, where like they're on a controlinator and it looks like they're walking towards somewhere. You can like actually turn the SAC person around and they can like walk in.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
honestly, like, you know, my standing with LittleBigPlanet 3 is that the content in it is great. Like, I mean, like in terms of create mode and whatnot,
Right.
but I think the story mode could have been a bit more polished. Like, I mean, this is, I mean, that's not really the fault on. It's not really so much that part. It's not really so much as a fault on Sumo as it is Sony for having them release the game on the Black Friday when when the game's like barely. I mean, like the performance on the game is just abysmal.
Obviously, Sumo weren't gonna make it feel like a medium molecule game. Like, of course, it was gonna feel different, but it felt very similar in ways. Like Bunkum felt. I don't know whether it was just because it was in Bunkum or like Bunkum being different to Craft World, but I think they tried to introduce too many mechanics, like collector bells. That really didn't need to be a thing whatsoever.
I was actually fine with collectibles.
I really didn't see the point of them. I was like, I just want to find prize bubbles because it felt rewarding when you found prize bubbles and you had to do a puzzle to get something, not jump on a platform to find these bells to go into this random Russian guy's shop and buy them. If I wanted to buy them, I'd just use money and go on the PlayStation store.
Oh, yes, so you're calling me a Russian.
Whatever he is.
Zum Zum. I'm Zum Zum. And
yeah,
this is my emporium. I don't know.
Oh god, yeah, that guy.
I haven't really played through the story in like
gives you the most underused power up in the game.
The blink ball.
No, not the blink ball, the illuminator.
Oh yeah,
the torch. I really didn't see the point in that one.
Like, I mean, I like the I like the effort, if I'm honest, to introduce new things.
Yeah, the hook hat was the best thing though. Going on rails, railing was such a cool thing that they added.
Oh, that's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
But when I play LBP 3 on the PS4 though, like, I mean, looking at the graphics, it doesn't feel, they don't look great. I mean, it looks better, but it doesn't look great to me.
It just looks like they ported the textures up and then put a filter over it.
Yeah, something. Like they ran the textures through like Waifu 2X or something.
yeah, something like that.
Like that's a texture upscaling program. I don't know if anyone knew that, but yeah.
As for pics and things like that, I'm not much of an expert on it, but I think Emily is. Like, yeah, some of the, if you want to talk about that, Emily, that'd be great. Like some of the pics of the community and, you know, getting a real feel for a community level.
Some of the pics are like, how do they make that?
I know.
Yeah, and
like,
how would you describe the difference between the pics like from early LBP and the team pics from like nowadays?
It's like they put really good effort into the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them were so unique. Some of them were so unique.
Yeah.
And now what?
Now they're just making it for an pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, or for a team pick. Yeah, like because like there's the quality of team picks like these days are a bit inconsistent. Like you could tell
like Big Surfs.
Yeah, Big Surfs is like. He makes the levels with such quality because he knows he's going to get a team pick.
It's the same. One of my favorite creators is Tarboy. To be honest, he's
he's really good. I like his.
And
people who theme their moon really well get a thumbs up for me because I really like that. I always wanted to do that, but I just never took the time.
And as much as I knock Big Surf, you know, for some of the stuff they pulls in LBP, like trying to enter contests, and expecting to win and stuff, like. I do respect that he is a talented creator. Like, yeah. I decided to look into him a bit more, and the guy makes music and art outside of LBP. Like I've noticed that he has a whole like copyright free music that anyone can use, and I've listened to a few tracks and they sound really cool. And they're not just made with LBP either. Like I could tell like he used real software, which I'm wondering what he used now that I think about it. But I mean, that doesn't really change the fact that I can't stand what he does, and like how I can't stand his behavior in LBP. Like when he
Does
like
he? Is he the kind of creator that? How do I say this without sounding too blunt? He has kind of a higher ego of himself because he's been successful in the community
y-
multiple times.
yes, like
Okay.
he's pretty much like that. Like
I mean,
I
I feel like anyone would get maybe a little bit like that if they were in the position that he was. You know.
Me, I wouldn't really care, honestly. Like if I had that kind of talent, I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't go all pissy if I don't win a contest, Like I
It's
mean, like if
people
despite me
handle
having,
things differently.
like I remember like there was a Sakinma contest, and he entered it and he got a team pick off of it, but he didn't win. He didn't even make third place or whatever. Like, and he was actually disappointed that he didn't get picked, and
I think
so
it's
were a
kind
few
of
of his
fair that
fanboys.
once you've been recognized, I think it's good to have like a constant flow of creators rather than the creators that are at the top of the game. You know, the creators like Big Surf and Tarboy and some
Yeah.
others. And
There-
who was the guy that made Sackboy EXE? I remember that was really popular.
The unknown one.
Yeah, and
That guy left, by the way.
D.
Yeah, he did. He gave his PSN account to another person and left. I think
Okay.
he lurks now. I don't know. That's just that's a huge guess. I could be dead wrong on that.
Maybe we could get
Tarboy?
him on the podcast at some point. I don't
No,
know.
the unknown one, Emily.
Oh, no one. Yeah.
I think he's just my all-around favorite creator is Tarboy, but he's just my personal favorite creator. Do you guys have any personal favorite creators?
Huh?
I know my favorite is Z Mackie.
Z Mackie?
He made Interkinetic level.
Oh, I've played that.
Oh,
I've played
play.
that. That's a very good level.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that level.
Yeah, he was pretty. That was a really good level. Pretty like it won the Saki Award, I believe.
Yeah.
The Saki, I completely forgot that was a thing. Do they still
Yeah.
do them?
Last one was in 2015.
Oh, okay, they've obviously stopped doing them then. It reminds me of the
Yeah,
Saxies from TF2.
Yeah. Another favorite creator is Ikamon. And
That sounds familiar. I probably played one of their levels.
it's the
He's
Japanese
a-
creator.
He's had tons of team picks too, but like I mean, I didn't really care much, with when he got a lot of team picks. But I think it's because he was like much like either you couldn't tell like what he says about it because like he would tweet in Japanese on Twitter,
Right.
or
right.
he just doesn't say anything about it in general. Like he doesn't like I don't see him having that same ego that Big Surf has.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Right. Some people
Yeah,
just
he's
like to
like-
create, man. Some people are in it for like, oh yeah, this level is going to be so successful, and some people just want to make levels and have fun.
For fun.
And another favorite creator I love is Samurai 09.
I've definitely heard that name before. Is he a film creator?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I've definitely
He's
heard
made
of him before then.
he's made
made
Ninja Cat
Oh yes, yeah.
Ninja Cat 1 and 2 and
in the reboot.
Right.
the reboot.
Um,
Rehab, which is another creator I really like.
Yeah, he's
Rehab
really cool.
Reject. He's making Ninja Cat 3.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're allowed to say this, but I remember you were actually approached, Emily, by Samurai to voice a character
Oh,
in the
yeah.
reboot.
Yeah.
That's
That-
not
I-
leaking too much information. That's just a voice.
No.
That's something else that I want to address. People getting crowns for voice acting in LBP, I think, is stupid. And
Well, I mean, that's
here's the
kind-
reason why. There's been people that have made. I've played a level where it was like a 30-minute film in LBP because the levels are all chain linked together. So you just go from one level to the next. And it was like a
Yeah.
30-minute film. And that had actually really good voice acting. And I didn't see nearly as much recognition of things. I don't know what the thing was that...
That's
What was the
I think-
group? What was the group that got crowns for voice acting, and they didn't even do that much voice acting? I don't have anything against these people, by the way, in case they're watching. I just think it's.
I know that there are voice acting crowns because there were Saki nominees, but I know there was a group called Just Saying Productions. Like I don't have anything against the people in the group. They're actually really cool people because I've seen their tweets and I follow them.
Right.
But one of the members of that group, Sonic Sympathy, he made a couple of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films, like because there was DLC coming out for them,
Right.
and the group got crowns off of that, and along with the "See What I Did There" pin and Awesome Sauce pin.
Damn. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
And
at the
I
end of
got-
the day, it's up to the devs of what they find good, I suppose. What
The films were actually pretty good quality films, like in terms of like how it looked and how the animations pulled
when I say
off.
when I say these things, I'm not doubting anyone's creativity or saying that the level was bad itself. I'm just saying
It's just
some
what the
crowns,
devs are doing.
Some crowns are, let's just say, questionable.
Yeah, it's what it's the devs that you're questioning and not the creators themselves. Like they don't really expect that.
Everyone seems so happy on the devs team, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got my crown because I helped out a group of renowned glitchers such as Fatty Macintosh, Smuffy04, Glitchmaster7, and HF Miles. I helped them out.
I never really
I helped
talked to
out.
Glitch. I did talk to Fatty and Smuffy. I think I still have them added. I don't really talk to them that much these days, but I have talked to him before. The first ever person I met, who I met everyone else through, was Ben. I have no idea how I met him. I completely forgot. So, Ben, if you're watching, hi. I can't remember how I met you on LBP, but that's how I met everyone else. You showed me to Roman, and then Roman showed me to like a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that sounded kind of funny how you're like, I can't remember how I met you on LB.
I think I just dived in. It must have
Yeah.
been because I just used to dive in for like 5 hours a day.
But yeah, going back to like my story though,
Sorry for interrupting you, by the way.
No, you're good, man. I got my crown for helping contribute to a 13 or 14 page report of a list of glitches in LBP3. Like I helped test these bugs and exploits and glitches, make sure they were consistent. Like, I was trusted to do that, actually, like to keep them secret and whatnot, make sure they wouldn't leak.
Right.
But yeah, I actually got my crown a year after Fatty, Smuffy, and Ben or HF Miles got their crowns.
Right.
Like mine was late.
Thing is, though, some people get their crowns like a good amount of time after they've done something. And like some people have like I've known people that have like retired from LBP who have like won a crown for work that they did when they actually played the game.
Yeah. And I know Emily got her crown because she was nominated for Outstanding YouTuber in the Saki Awards 2015, which I think is a really awesome honor to have. Like, even been nominated for outstanding YouTuber.
Yeah, that's quite an achievement. That is quite an achievement. So
her videos are such quality. Like she puts effort into the playthroughs that she records, like to make sure that they don't.
I can second
not
that.
Dying a bunch of times.
Yeah, it takes skill to do that. Yeah.
No problem. And your editing job is pretty good too.
Yeah. I mean, putting a production together takes skill. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's basic or not. It's consistency and quality.
And how effective it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
I got my outstanding YouTuber category of the 2015 ones.
I still remember watching that stream where they announced the nominees live and everything, and I heard your name and I was really excited because like I had already respected and liked you as a person then. When we were only just friends. Oh, speaking of which, I guess this is probably a good time to tell y'all, to tell everyone how Emily and I became a thing.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'll sit back and let you explain.
All right. Well, Emily and I had met over Twitter through because of LBP in I want to say around 2014. I had already been familiar with her LittleBigPlanet 3 beta content. Like she had recorded videos of all the beta levels and stuff. Like I was watching those before I got my beta code.
I think those were some of her most popular videos, I believe.
Yeah, they are. Because she was one of the elite few to be able to be invited to the beta like before anyone else.
I'm just a scrub on LBP. I don't have any kind of I don't have like any recognition whatsoever. I'm just a dude who plays LBP and knows some cool guys on LBP.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything amazing on the game at all.
I've just dabbled around on a bunch of things with LittleBigPlanet. That's pretty much my story. Like, I just found and helped find glitches, and I've created levels with people like Emily, and I've tried my hand at music and art as well.
Yeah. I guess I kind of make music in LBP. I'm not that good at it though.
You experimented with that, I remember.
Yeah. You're pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did. Yeah, it was good stuff. But anyway, back to my story.
Sorry.
Nah, it's fine, dude. You're good. So yeah. Anyway, I was familiar with Emily's LittleBigPlanet 3 beta content in 2014, but we talked like here and there in 2014. But I could already tell she was a cool person. So I think we had followed each other at that time. And yeah, in 2015 we started talking more, but like we weren't exactly best friends yet. Like, she added me, but she did add me on PSN. And I remember later I would find out that she would tell a few of her friends that she has me added, like I'm a notable and cool person or something to have added. which was really sweet of her. We were only just friends in like, early 2015, like I want to say around March or February. I thought that was pretty nice. I would find that out later though, like when we get together. But anyway, before late 2015 we would always have like a good conversation here and there, but it wasn't every day like it would end up being.
Was it like, it was probably like similar to our relationship at the time when we were just like, I think that's when I first met you, we like hit it off straight away, and we were just like talking every so often, that kind of thing.
Yeah, probably. Like, but it was a good amount of conversation though. But then like I want to say around November 2015, I started hanging out with her more, and like whenever like we would play with friends, I actually noticed that she would always hang around me. Like, she would always hang around me when we were like with like in a full group.
Did I know you at the time? November 2015. Yeah, I totally did.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, and she would always hang around me when we were in a full group of, in LittleBigPlanet. Like, she would always see what I'm doing and stuff, like even if I'm just screwing around. I actually remember suspecting that she had kind of taken an interest to me already. Like, she already liked me or something.
Stop.
Aw, you can tell she's probably already blushing.
Yeah.
behind the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think that's one of the first times I met Emily, was around about that time. Because I think I joined you and Emily was in the pod as well. And I was like, oh, hi.
Yeah, I think you can picture me blushing at the cat now. Because I've shown you only a picture of the cat.
Yes.
Because I don't think you saw me behind the makeup. Yeah.
No, have I? No, I haven't. I totally haven't.
I think you have. No, you've shown them more than once actually.
I forget.
Yeah, you've sent. I still remember. Like, I know we're jumping ahead. We're jumping ahead and all.
Yeah, I only remember.
I know we're jumping ahead and all, but I just want to say this real quick. Like, I remember you've sent me multiple pictures, like, that you've wanted to send to Harry on Snapchat, and you've always asked me if like they look good and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you think I answered with, Harry?
Oh, totally no. Is that these no, this one yes. Totally.
Probably. Yeah, that was basically how that went. Anyway, back to my story now.
The amount of times you said that. Sorry, I feel so bad.
We're having fun, but we'll just make sure not to go on so many tangent lines next time.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, ever since like around, I want to say December 2015, like when, ironically, right around when Emily got her crown, like I actually started talking to her like more, because I remember like she was talking to me beforehand that how she wanted to earn the crown, and like I even went to like share play with her my European copy of LBP3 that I had at the time, because at the time I was like I didn't earn a crown yet. I had just like I knew people that would game share their crowns with me, and so along with the copy needed to wear the crown in the game. In this case, I needed the European copy
Yeah.
or of Little Big Planet to use the crown. But yeah, I went and share played with her my copy of the game, and give her a taste of what it's like to have the crown and the poppet. Like like take it on, put it on, and take it off and whatnot.
Yeah,
like,
you just
make costumes with it.
Yeah.
The works.
I get
And
that.
and then like after she had earned her crown, we joined each other on LBP, and like I was like, oh my god, congratulations! I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
And I remember like we took a picture of both of us wearing the crown and stuff in our costumes. Like even though mine was game shared at the time, I just like I don't know I just liked wearing the crown.
It's the same
back
with
then,
me.
but like yeah, but yeah, like we started talking to each other a lot more and stuff, and I want to say in early 2016, like Emily and I were having a conversation, and beforehand, there were a few nights where like I was like in December of 2015, I was already falling for her, like beforehand, like but because she seemed like such a sweet and cool person, and I was honestly surprised that she wasn't with anyone else yet. Like she was just single.
Yeah, I knew. I think I knew a couple of LBP couples at the time. That some of them are no longer together, but yeah, I think I knew.
Yeah.
I think I knew a few.
We should probably not bring them up just in case they see this and like they get reminded of like.
No, it's not specific. I'm not even joking. I knew like 6 or 7 LBP couples, and I think I kind of was sensing at the time like, oh, Roman is hanging out with Emily a lot. Wonder if something's going on there, and I turned out to be right. So.
Yeah. But like,
didn't I go off for quite a long time, and then I came back on, and then you guys were a couple?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it was. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do stuff in life now. And I came back, and then you guys were a couple. I was like, oh, awesome.
But yeah, like how that happened was like I was already falling for her like before this night, and on that night I remember I think I was helping her get someone off her back, because they were trying to flirt with her and shit, and then like. Yeah. I said, just say you have a boyfriend now or something, and then she's like, okay, and then I'm like, and then I asked her, hey, if you were to say who you're with, who would it be? And then she said it would be you. I'm like, oh. We talked a little bit more then on, and long story short, I said, do you actually want to try that out? And then she's like, sure, and the rest is history.
My wise words, cutting you off halfway through a story. The rest is history. Jesus Christ!
You did help me figure out a good way to like end that story. But yeah, Emily and I have been a thing for over a year now, and we've met each other in person like I want to say 4 or 5 times, and.
Yeah.
Around 4 of those times or 3 of those times, we stayed with each other for a week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I
Emily.
Our most recent meetup was I actually flew up to Canada to see her.
Dude, Canada's such a fucking dope place. I wish I could go there one day.
It is. Yeah. I can confirm. I can confirm. But yeah, how would you guys say? I'm not the host, but how should we all say? LBP has shaped us up, so to speak.
So, I guess I'll start because I'm the host, I guess.
You're the host, I'm not.
Oh man, I've been playing this game for so goddamn long. It basically took me through all of my teenage years. A bunch of my friends when I was growing up in high school, they were just like discussing games that they liked together, and obviously the most popular one was Call of Duty because that's what all teenage, kids liked, was the Call of Duties and the shooty and the pew pew and tactics and shit. Yeah,
that game.
Yeah, and then obviously I did play it on the side, but mostly I played LBP, and most people didn't even know what it was. It's either they said that or they said, "Oh yeah, I got that game." I played it once and I traded it in because it sucked. And I'm like, no, you didn't experience it correctly. You played like the first 2 levels and you thought it sucked. You didn't even go on the community or anything. And it felt really bad because I didn't get to experience. And going back to that topic, at the beginning when I said me and my friend spent like 4 hours in create mode, he was one of those Call of Duty kids, and I convinced him about LBP, and I drew him into it, and he stopped playing COD.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it sucks that we aren't friends anymore, and we kind of drifted apart, but it was good times. But how it shaped me as a person is, I think it's just made me more creative overall, and made me strive to be a more creative person. I mean, the job I'm doing now, I make YouTube videos, so you have to be pretty creative for that. Having to write scripts every week and record and edit and la 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 la. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to do that if I didn't bring out my creative talent in LBP. And I know there's 2 different things, level making and, you know, videos thing. They're 2 different things.
Video and sound editing and design.
Yeah, that. Whatever that is. Totally don't do it for a job.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I feel like it brought up my like improvisation, I suppose, and being able to think on the dot. I know I'm not doing a good job of it now, but this is the first time I've done this kind of thing. But yeah, I think
there's
that's
a first time for everything.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Roman?
It shaped me up to like you, be a more creative person too, but it's also helped me determine whether or not I wanted to go into game design. And well, I'm going to a university to major in video game design.
That's amazing, honestly. How a video game can shape you to do that.
My next class for the course starts tomorrow, as of this recording.
Damn, that's amazing.
And I go 3 days out of the week.
That's really cool. That is really cool. How you can go from making levels in a game to actually making levels in a game.
Making games.
Making a game.
Yep, exactly. And it's really cool.
Yeah, you know? That's awesome.
Making exactly the kind of game I want to play. And learning how to do that, you know?
Yeah, it is really cool. What about you, Emily? What about you?
Actually, LittleBigPlanet 2, leading up to the beta of LittleBigPlanet 3, made me want to start recording videos of people's levels.
I mean, like...
and do YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, I used to... The 2 main things I used to do was either watch YouTube videos or go on LBP. So I guess you kind of... I don't know whether you were the same, but I guess you combined those 2 into one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it made you a more creative person as well, because you're creating these videos.
Yeah.
That's something I definitely you were ahead of that for me, because I never thought I'd be making videos either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to make another video on my YouTube channel.
When's that Let's Play?
Oh god.
Shut up.
Making videos is hard, Roman.
Yeah. You just need the motivation.
Yeah, it's true. I guess LBP was your motivation though. Your favorite game was part of your videos.
Yeah, LittleBigPlanet 2 was definitely a motivation for me. Yeah.
Can we talk about one final thing? I'm surprised it hasn't come up. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about it. This will be our closure. So we can either talk about game sharing rare items, which we briefly brushed over, or we can talk about one of the biggest issues in the community, which is harp for harding.
Oh.
So
yeah,
I don't know why.
The biggest issue with the community is the community.
Yeah, there's a lot of toxic. Yeah. There's obviously, I'm pretty sure anyone who's played LBP can report a time where it's either in the comments section or someone's profile in the comments of a level, on mic, people coming into your pod and like verbally abusing you for no reason.
Yeah, I don't like that part either.
Yeah,
your sack boy is too fat.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Okay, that's like
that's totally
what they say online. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I'm sure anyone who's played LBP can recall a time where it's just been.
I can recall hundreds of times seeing that. Yeah,
I think the true people are like the bare bones people who have like shone through these thousands of people who used to play the game to a mere, like, I don't know how many people play online on I think, to be honest, I think the best. I'm just gonna say it now that LBP2 is the best LittleBigPlanet. That's just for
I
closure.
agree.
Yeah, it is the best one. But I don't know whether there's a more active community on LBP3 just because it's the newer game, but I think LBP2 should have the most active community. I mean, all it seems to be now is people on like bank robbing level or a work and buy level or a Trilly. Trilly is the worst thing.
Like everyone like freaking shows off all their quote unquote modded stuff and think they're hot, like they made it.
Yeah, the entire it's crazy how much the LBP community and the emo community is tied together.
And if you even so much as join like a dive in on the Trilly with like even one rare item you own legitimately, they'll accuse you of modding. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, yes.
It's so
Trilly
is so horrible. I feel like it's just a bunch of like kids flirting with each other. It's really disturbing sometimes. Me and I'm not even allowed to say this on the podcast, but there was one time that me and Roman joined the game on Trilly. Oh,
it was perfect
God.
pick room actually.
Oh, was it perfect? Who was the creator of that again?
I can't pronounce her name because
I'm so sorry if you're watching this, because I'll completely butcher your name. But it begins with a B. You're a German creator. I follow you on Twitter. You follow me on Twitter. You know who you are. Just call her. I guess we can just call her Bun. But yeah, just call her Bunny or Bun. She deleted her level because it got toxic, right? I don't know whether that's the reason why.
There was a lot of dumb drama that related to her, and a bit of it related to that level.
Right.
Yeah.
Then Trilly got released by whoever it was. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it's the.
I don't know either.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Oh. Yeah,
should we end off on a high note? Should we end on?
Yes.
Well, okay. What should we end on? What was your favorite level on LittleBigPlanet? Mine was Radioactive Waffle by Chief Fathead. That's my favorite level.
Oh my god.
Or whatever the it's called.
Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor. Trevor, that's my favorite level, if you're listening.
Yes. Emily, what's your favorite level? I need to think of mine.
I would definitely say Interkinetic. That's just...
Yeah.
Wow.
I've played too many levels to remember.
So many good levels out there. I just can't...
Oh,
I couldn't pick.
I remember there was a level by T-Bonesy, I think it's pronounced, called, I think it was called, it was this level where you would it was this level about how people back in 2006 were getting a PlayStation 3 for their children for Christmas. And you had to like go through like this line that was the line of sack people that would certainly remind you of like a line of people crowding up for like any hot electronics on a Black Friday. Like there was like a bunch of fire around the stores and whatnot, and you had to like hop on the sack people, and it was like a pile of sack people. It was hilarious. I forgot the name of it though, but yeah, like it was a level by Team Bonesy, and freaking I remember at the end of the level, like you would get them a PS3, but then they would like get pissed because it was a 20 gigabyte model and not a 60 or 80 gig.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Me no want, and then you had to shoot the kid with a paintinator. That kid's a brat. If I had to pick a favorite level right now, that would be it.
Nice. Alright, well, I think that about wraps it up for the first ever episode of PodTalk. Thank you so much for listening, whoever's listening. If you made it this far, yeah. Alright, see you guys later. Bye!
Bye!